Happy holidays, everyone! It's well and truly the Christmas season, and it's just about the sort of time when people are trying to relax and enjoy the cosy winter atmosphere. With that in mind, we thought it'd be a good idea to share some relaxing indie experiences that you can have right now. These games aren't necessarily Christmas themed and don't particularly share much in common, but they're all pretty relaxing. I'm Will with Clickist, and these are the most relaxing indie games to play over the holidays. Little Inferno. Now, I know I said like 2 seconds ago that these games wouldn't necessarily be holiday themed, but Little Inferno feels pretty apt for the winter season. It's set in a world where it has been perpetually snowing for years and years, as long as anyone can remember. In this freezing cold world, all children can do to stay warm is to keep burning things, so that's all you do. Burn every single thing. It might sound like a pyromaniac's wet dream, but it's actually a very zen puzzle game, where you have to burn the right combination of things to unlock different challenges. As you go through, you unlock more and more catalogues filled with stuff that will burn and give you money to buy more things, which might not make any sense, but it is at least fun. You get this strange feeling while watching everything burn. Anyway, the game's fun, warm, cosy and relaxing. On top of that, it has a really interesting story, which we won't ruin for you. Needless to say, it has some twists, turns, and will probably leaving you feeling strange by the time it's over. Tracks, the train set game. Tracks has a much more simplistic joy compared to Little Inferno. It also doesn't feature Satan's minions making a TV spot. I recently did an article about Tracks, talking about how perfect it was for Christmas, and a lot of the points I used there are transferable to this list. Tracks is a game all about playing with wooden train sets, exactly the sort that you may have had when you were a kid. It's nostalgic, warm, cosy. It's basically like finding an old jumper that you thought you'd lost, and putting it on to remember all those good times you had with it. The game is filled with options to make everything seem wintry, and it's really easy to lose hours in building your perfect train set. You can tweak everything, and even make your train out of bloody gingerbread. Perfect. Treasure Hunter Simulator. This is another game which was recently featured on our site. Treasure Hunter Simulator is a game about being a real-world, modern-day treasure hunter. Namely, one of those people you sometimes see on beaches, wandering around with a metal detector, hoping to find something ancient and valuable, but more often than not, coming across discarded crap. That might not make it sound particularly inviting, but that's kind of not the point. The game is just relaxing, because most of the time what you're actually doing is exploring different locations and their beautiful scenery. Treasure Hunter Simulator makes very few demands of the player beyond go here and find stuff. Sure, you can take pictures of scenery or have a timed run up a hill, but really that's not the bulk of what's going on. You just sit back, relax, and wander through places you're probably never going to get to see in real life. Plus, there are interesting history facts if you're into that sort of stuff. Stardew Valley. This might be straying into the more obvious territory for the list, but screw it. If you want a relaxing game, well, Stardew Valley certainly fits the bill. For those not in the know, Stardew Valley is a spiritual successor to the Harvest Moon series. Well, sort of. Technically Harvest Moon is still ongoing, but it's now called Story of Seasons, while some other developer makes Harvest Moon games. Regardless, Stardew Valley follows very much in the steps of the original Harvest Moon titles. You farm, you socialise, you fish and you mine. You have an insane amount of freedom, and there are enough small details to really get yourself stuck into. You can spend hours deciding exactly where everything goes. Plus it just feels quaint. Time to harvest my decorative autumn squash. Does this game have that? Never mind! Viscera cleanup detail. Blood, guts, death. What could be more relaxing? Okay, jokes aside, this one might seem like a strange inclusion for a lot of people. Viscera Cleanup Detail is a game where you have to clean up the viscera left behind after some sort of sci-fi FPS game has happened all over the place. You literally have to pick up chunks of gore, mop up blood, and generally get the place ready for the next poor mad scientist to push the boundaries of science too far in. It doesn't sound relaxing to hear that sort of description, but trust me, it is. It has the same appeal that many other recent games seem to have. It's a menial task with an obvious marker of progression that doesn't require you to think too much. Sort of like Fortnite. But seriously, it's just nice to have an achievable goal, even if it's slightly overwhelming in single player. On top of that, if you need extra holiday feelings injected into your experience, then you can play Santa's Rampage and clean up chunks of reindeer and elves. Fun! Euro Truck Simulator 2. This entry is definitely personally motivated. This way I get to spend even more time playing Euro Truck Simulator 2. If the game's name didn't somehow give it away for you, it's a game all about the simulated driving of trucks all over Europe. Go figure. The point of the game is to set up your own truck company and grow from some guy in a shed to a sprawling mega haulage firm with dozens of employees. At first, you take work driving other people's trucks for other people's companies, but once you buy your first truck, you can start truly working for yourself. Most of your time in the game is spent driving from one place to another, trying your hardest to not go over the speed limit or crash into an unsuspecting motorist for fear of losing money to fines. The driving takes a long time to do, but you can put your own files onto the radio, and there are even workshop mods to add some winter flair. So find a podcast or put on some of your favourite tunes and drive into the distance. It's never been this easy to completely zone out at the wheel without the fear of killing anybody. Abzu. People always say that aquariums are relaxing. So what could be more relaxing than a game which basically features the entire ocean as your personal aquarium? Abzu is a game which has received a lot of attention for how beautiful it looks and the laid-back approach to gameplay. You're pretty free to just explore the ocean, interact with some of the wildlife, and generally get taken on a journey. As the game goes on, things get stranger and stranger, but you never lose that sense of wonder and magic that you start with, and the entire time the game doesn't really make any demands of you. You can pretty much go anywhere and do pretty much anything. If you decide you want to stare at the details on every wall, go for it. You decide to try and ride on as many fish as possible? Why the hell not? At the end of the game, you're probably going to feel like you've just come out of a digital massage. So, now you have some decent recommendations for how to spend those chilly evenings. Turn on the heating, grab a warm drink of something seasonal, and curl up in front of the TV with a good game. Do you have any recommendations for relaxing games? Let us know in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. Also, feel free to check out my channel too.